You will start the recording? Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
started
you.
just.
Yes, thank you, Naresh. Okay, guys. So we just started with the shell features, right? That's what in the last session we started with the shell features. So command line entry and command completion we did it. History commanded we completed, right? But few of the things actually I want to tell you. For example, here now here you saw, right, like I executed so many commands. When I execute the history command, right, you could see that almost all these commands are executed. Now if you say that, Rajesh, I want to clear all the content of this history command, I want to clear, so you can say history hyphen c means clear. See, if now you see, if I'm using upper arrow or down arrow key, see, nothing is there. See, I'm pressing the upper arrow key, so it means that you have flushed the complete content of the shell buffer. Means the shell buffer will maintain all the commands, right? You have flushed out everything with the help of a hyphen c option. Sometime you will do this option also, right? Now I'll do anything. I'll execute some commands: ls command, date command, who command. Some 3 commands execute. Now again you try to execute the history command. See, now again it has shown you that these are the 3 recent commands you executed. Now you say that okay, you have executed this command. I will do again one more time history dot hyphen c clear. So flushing, so nothing is there. See, I'm using upper arrow key, nothing is there. Now if you execute the command ls-attr command, okay, ls-attr command, ls, okay, and what else? I execute the ps command. I execute the echo dollar command, $$ command. See, you execute 2-3 commands. If you execute the history command, see, again these 3 commands or 4 commands you have executed. Now if you say history hyphen w, what this will do, right? Even though your shell is up and running, you want to write this content, this entire commands, you want to write it dot bash underscore history file. Then and there itself. Now only I want to write everything, this content to this file. Then you can use history hyphen w. And say enter. See, you open the dot bash underscore history. See, you have written now everything, right? So it will overwrite everything, whatever it was there, and the new content, whatever there in the shell buffer, will be written into dot bash underscore history. Sometimes this history hyphen c is required. Suppose you're executing some commands, and where the other user should not see all those commands, whatever you have executed, then you can do a history hyphen c like this. Okay. So these are some options are there for that history command. Okay. Now next is an aliases. What is an alias actually? Alias is nothing but it is a short name given for a long command. Short name given for the long command. What is a short, like what is aliases? It's a shortcut we say. So if I execute an alias command, you could see that already there are a lot of aliases. These are called system aliases. This aliases you have not created. It's a system aliases, right? So here what I do that, suppose if you see the syntax alias cp is equal to cp-i. Suppose assume that I want to clear the screen, sir. Always have to run the command clear to clear the screen. But can I set an alias for this clear command? Yes, you can set an alias. How? Alias c is equal to like this, clear. See, like this. Enter, you have set an alias. If I say c and I just say enter, see, you are able to clear the screen, right? If I execute alias, see, you could see that this alias has been there. But this alias will be there till your shell is up and running. Once you exit out the shell, this alias will be unaliased. Means it will be unsetted. Or else if you don't want it, you can even say unalias c. See, it will be unsetted. Now again you execute alias command, alias and enter. See, you have unsetted the alias. Now if I say c and enter, nothing will happen. Means you are not able to clear the screen. So for some big command, so many times what happened in the industry, right? Even in our company also, we have set a lot of aliases actually. So for example, assume that. So whatever I'm just executing, just see what I'm doing here. So if I want to check the size of the mounted file system or the size of all your file system, I execute a command df command, disk free -h. See, when I execute command, it will show me it will show me the output. See, what is this output? It has many columns: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, the file system name is, this is what, this is a file system, and this is the mount point where it is mounted. This is a mount point. You could see that /dev xdva2 is been mounted onto the slash partition. Okay, so 10 GB is there, use is 3.4 GB, still 6.7 GB is available, and it is shown you in percentage. Now, if I want to have this first column, second, third, fourth, fifth column, I need a first column and the fifth column. See what I will do: df-h, pipe it to. Don't worry, now we will come across with all this command. Awk command, single quote, print $1, $5. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to print the first column, and I'm trying to do the fifth column. See, when you do an enter, see, first column is about the file system, everything, and the sixth column is the use percentage. See, these two columns I am displaying with the help of a pipe. What is this pipe? What is this awk? Everything we'll discuss again. Don't worry. Right now, what I'm trying to do, that there is one command I'm just executing like this. Now you say, Rajesh, whenever I want these two columns, Rajesh, I want to execute this big command. Can I set an alias for this? Yes, sir. You can set an alias. What is that? Alias df, or you can say something fs, file system, or else disk space something is equal to. Can you copy this like this? See, you have set an alias. Alias is equal to this space. So what you will do, you have to remove the space over here. See? Okay, what is it, sir? Already alias is there for the disk space. So I will say unalias and say disk space. See? Now again I'll do this. See? What happens, sir? alias, alias. Okay, what has happened? Why it is not it? Okay, unalias, yes, unalias, disk space. Okay, I'm sorry, unalias disk space. Let me check the alias. Okay, it is not there now. Now it's alias disk space is equal to df-h pipe it to awk of print $1, $5.
Sorry, it is AWK.
AWK. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. What is it? Oh, alias, comma. I think AWK. It is not taking, sir. Wait, hold a second, sir. Okay, this is what. Okay. Somewhere it is not taking, sir, actually, or else I think I have to give some space or without space. Okay, this is what it is. Suppose something like a very big command, you are actually setting a shortcut for that, actually, like that. Okay, we will see some other examples, right? Or else if I say cat of etc possibility pipe it to grep of grep-i of root. So I'm getting this output. Can I set that alias for this? Yes, I can set that alias root user is equal to this. Yes, like this you have set it. Now whenever you need this, I don't want to execute always, sir. I will set a small name, root user. See, I'll execute this command, root user. See, you will get the output like this. So for the long command, which you are doing every day, you have kept a shortcut. The shortcut is not, you have set an alias here. So this alias will be there. This alias, you could see that it will be there till your shell is up and running. Once the shell comes out, or once you exit out of the shell, it will be unalias. It will be unsetted, we say, like that. Okay. So that's about the aliases. Aliases, yeah. Yes, guys. Okay, fine. Now you have set an alias. You can unalias also by using unalias command, unset it. Okay. Or else if you say, Rajesh, no, Rajesh, every day I log into the system, whatever this alias is there, it is, should always be there. No problem, sir. What you do, you copy this alias and keep it under .bash_profile. This is the configuration file, right? You can keep it over here, come at the down, and then just paste this. That's all. It will always be there. So this alias will always be permanent. And then you can execute the command source page .bash_profile. So always, whenever you log in, your alias will always be there. I can exit out from that. Again, I can log in. It will be there. See, for example, I'll log in one more root user. See, root user. And say, do the password Red Hat. See, I'll say alias. See, it will always be there. So see, this is the new session, right? Even though I invoke the new session, still this alias is there. So like this, what happened? Whenever you want to make any of your alias permanent, you need to place your alias into some configuration file, and this is the user level configuration file. Correct? In yesterday's class, in the third or fourth session, we had discussed about what is the user level configuration, what is the system level configuration file. You remember, these are the configuration files which have been executed you to get a bash shell, and bash is a login shell. Correct? So that's what we had discussed it. Okay. Now, after this job control, I will discuss after some time. Okay, what is it? There is something like the add job, and there is something like a cron job. Actually, you can set a cron job or the add job with the help of a job control. Quotings, actually, very important, sir. What is quoting? Now, for example, sir, whenever there are some few things are there which I will tell you now. Okay, now, whenever shell is executing any command, suppose if I execute ls command and say enter. ls is successfully executed by the shell. Okay, always the return value of the execution of the command is always 0. To that, whenever shell executes any command successfully, the return value is 0. So I'll write it down. Whenever the shell executes any command successfully, the return value is 0. The return value is 0. Always it is 0. Apart from 0, any other value, 1, 2, 3, up to 127 error value, this we call the error value. And each and every error value, this error value or exit value, it has some meaning actually. Okay. Now, when I executed any command successfully, the return value is 0. How to check whether this command is executed or not successfully? You have to execute a command echo $? So it returns the value 0. Okay. Now, what is this echo $? What is this question mark? Again, getting into this, let me explain one more thing. Like for example, whenever you want to declare any variable or you have to assign any variable, right? You can just directly assign a variable like that. A is equal to 10. See, in bash shell scripting or in bash, there is no different types of variable. You know, if you see, suppose if you go to any language, suppose if you try to go into the C language, what happened, right? You have a lot of different types of variables out there, right? You have a variable known as a char, characters, integers, float, double, right? Double, like this. You have types of variables actually. Means whenever you are making use of any variable in C language programming, you need to first declare the type of that variable. Like for example, if I want to declare a type of a variable, even you have array also. Okay, whenever you want to declare any type of variable, you have to first declare the variable type. Suppose if you say char a, it means that the a is a character of a type character, and a can only store the character values, or it will store a single character value, right? Suppose if you say like this, char of a or b of this one, like this. So it means that B is a character, it's an array of character type, but you can store the string values like this. You can store like this. Like this you can store. Right, guys? So, no, not the pointer, it's wrong actually. It is B only like this. Okay. Suppose you are mentioning like this, star of B. Like B is a character pointer, then you can say the character of B is equal to like this. Similarly, you are declaring any variable as int I. So I is not, but it is an integer type. Then you can assign any numerical value like this. So here in C language, I'm just telling. Similarly, sir, if you go to the Perl programming or if you go to the Python programming or any programming, you have a variable types are there. It means that you need to define some variable types. So variable you need to define, you need to declare any variable as some type, and then only you can make use of that variable in your programming. Whereas in shell scripting, there is nothing like that. You don't have any int, char or something like that. Yes, you don't have any character or string type or something. But yes, in shell scripting, max, you can explicitly declare a variable as an integer. If you say in shell scripting declare I, then it means that actually I is an integer type. So this is the only type which you can declare in a shell scripting, that you can explicitly make any variable as an integer type with the help of a declare command. Clear, sir? That is the only thing is applicable in your bash itself. Yeah. If you ask Rajesh, can I declare any variable of a float? Can I declare any variable of double array? Array is also there. We will see later on. Can you declare any variable of character? No, sir. You don't have any type like that actually. In case of a bash shell scripting, you don't have. So that's the reason what I'm doing here, that I'm directly declaring some variable a is equal to 10. Now, if I want to print the value of that variable a, how to print it? You have to say echo dollar a. So here dollar means dollar will extract the value of the variable a and echo will print it. So if suppose somebody asks you what dollar is doing there, what is dollar means, you have to say, sir, dollar is nothing but it will extract the value of the variable and echo will print it actually. So now this is what you have to declare any variable. You can directly declare a variable by assigning to a value like this. So this here you are defining a variable a like this. Similarly, you can define a variable like this, b is equal to 20 like this. Echo dollar a, echo dollar b, it will print 20. Echo dollar b, echo dollar b 20, right? See what dollar is doing there. You have to say, so dollar will extract the value of the variable b and echo will print it like that. You'll say. Now I'm using the same dollar here also. What I'm doing here, whenever the shell is executing any command successfully, if I execute date command, shell is actually executing the command successfully. How to check the status whether the shell has executed any command successfully or not? You have to say echo dollar question mark. If it gives the value 0, it means that the shell has executed command successfully. So what is a dollar is doing there? Dollar is extracting the value. Correct. Okay. What is a question mark? Question mark will give you the, what is it, sir? Question mark will let you know the exit status of the last executed command. So whenever the shell is executing any command successfully, the exit status of that command will be held by a special variable known as a question mark. So what you are doing here, echo dollar question mark will, it will give you the exit status of the last executed command. Is it clear, sir? Guys, do you have any doubts here?
Yes, Rajesh. No.
Okay, good. Very good. So two things we learned here. One is the echo dollar a. It means that whenever you want to print any value of the variable, you just say echo dollar a. Fine. If you do a echo dollar question mark, yes, you can print the exit state of the last execute command. Suppose instead of date, okay, I put some nonsense. So this is not the command. This is the command not found, right? So if I execute echo dollar question mark, it will return 127. 127 is an exit status. It means that what is the error value it holds? Oh, it holds the error value command not found. See, you're executing some nonsense command. There's no command with the name data, right? That's what it says, that command not found. So when I execute echo dollar question mark, it returns 127. Oh, it states that this command not found. Oh, it's an exit value. Oh, it means that, oh, whatever Rajesh you said is right. So apart from 0, any other positive integer value will be always be an error value. So you will ask the question, Rajesh, this is all fine. Will I be using this error value somewhere else in my anywhere in our Linux? Yes, sir. We will be using this in our scripting part. Suppose I say that, okay, if this condition is getting failed, oh, exit with this error value. If this condition is not meaning, oh, exit with this error value. Like that, we can use this exit status value in our scripting also. Very nice. So that you will get to know what is that error type is. For example, you go to the Google and you say that, see, exit value, okay, of bash shell. See, sir, not 127, sir. I'm very sorry. 255, sir. 255 error value. So here you will have, see, Linux bash exit, how to set exit in the bash actually. See, echo dollar question mark. See, you have a lot of things, but I need the table actually. Wait. Where is the
So
table?
Rajesh, the dollar question mark always referring to the previous command only. It is not
Yes,
by the
it'll all, previous means it is last execute command.
last. Okay, fine.
Last execute command. That's all. See, exit 133. See, exit 133 will return to the shell to verify this echo dollar question mark after script terminates. See? But I need the table, sir. Actually, I want the table. There is a big table is there actually. Bash exit command, last exit values, tutors with example. Where is it, sir? This is something. Is a 127 is command not found. Okay, 126 means command involved cannot execute. 1 means catch all for the general error. 2 means misuse of shell built-in. Like this, these are our error exit set of the out of range. Like this, you have a big table, sir. From 1 to 255, you will get this. You will get what is that each and every exit value meaning. 127 means command not found. Oh, 128 means invalid argument to the exit. Like that, you will get a big table. You'll get. That's what. If you search in Google, what is the table? You will get the table, sir. Okay. So we will be using, right now it is so easy that now it is very important. Oh, I am using that exit status value in my scripting also. Correct. See, you're using the exit status, right? Like the exit 199, exit 1, like that you will be using in our script also many times. So it is very important. See, exit 1, like that. Okay. Now, okay. So here, that's what echo dollar question mark will give, will return you the exit status of the last execute command. Whenever command is not been successfully executed by the shell, always the return value is always 127. To print it, you have to say echo dollar question mark. Of course, there are many other symbols are there which you will come across like this echo dollar hash. Okay, echo dollar hash, echo dollar at symbol. These are all sometimes it will be asked actually. Sir, one more thing I want to tell you, very important, like actually, because if some of you are feeling like Rajesh, you have to learn so many things in Bash and scripting or in the Linux actually, to make you understand, sir, what has happened, what I have seen the trend right nowadays, what I'm seeing a trend in the DevOps jobs profile, right? Earlier, like around 5-6 years back, for a DevOps professional or anybody, Linux was the major part for them in the interview panel. It means that the interviewer will ask many things on Linux actually. Through Linux also, they will try to judge like how much he has worked on worked as a DevOps engineer. Like that, they will try to understand it. But now I'm seeing the trend how it is happening. From last 6 years, after 6 means before 6 years, I'm talking about. Now what has happened, right? Now there's almost the opposite itself. Nobody's asking hardly one question they will ask on Linux. See, in our companies and all right, we will ask the Linux section because we are slowly adopting into the DevOps culture. So most of the tools we have started using now. So, but still we are not yet come to that level where we are effectively using all the DevOps tools. So in our case, right, in our company, what happened whenever we are taking an interview, so we will tend to ask most of the questions in Linux actually. But in many other industries, I don't know, you have come across with many other, you might have attended many of the interviews. Very less percentage of the questions comes from Linux actually. Right, guys? You'll agree because there are so many things out there which need to be asked in this topics, right? Do you think that they'll get time to ask any questions? They won't ask any questions on Linux. But yes, of course, in an interview, they might ask you to, do you know the scripting part? Okay, I need this automation task. Can you write a script? If you know shell scripting, it is fine. If you know Python, it is fine, right? Or if you know Ruby scripting, it is fine. Or if you know Perl scripting, it is fine. Any one scripting language, do you know, they'll ask. But most preferably in the DevOps world, if you are going for a DevOps interview, they will ask a maximum shell scripting or Python only. Rarely, some company they might say, do you know Perl? Okay. Do you know Ruby scripting? No, they won't ask Ruby or Perl. They'll only ask Python and shell. So that's the reason, like, we all of us have to update on shell scripting and Python scripting. These are important. Now you make sure that actually, even though you are attending these classes and everything fine, but I will assure you that in an interview, not many questions is being asked on Linux. Rarely is a few questions. Like somebody might ask, have you do you know about the grep command, or you know about set command, awk command? That's also, they'll not ask all these things, whatever I'm teaching you, they will ask all these things. So nothing to worry on that part. It's just for our knowledge sake only we are taking all these advanced Linux classes. Is it clear, sir? Or else some of you can share your information or knowledge, information or your experience if they have really asked very hard questions in Linux. No, because there are so many harder things are there to be asked in DevOps tools only. In Kubernetes, in Docker, in Jenkins, in Terraform, right? Why they're getting to ask difficult questions in Linux? They won't ask. Correct? Because their main agenda is not working very corely in Linux actually. Their main agenda is to work more corely on Docker or more corely on AWS or more corely on Azure or more corely on Kubernetes. That is what their requirements are. Right. So, so it is always better that we should have a knowledge, yeah, because at least shell scripting we should have a knowledge actually, right? That's what we will take away, that okay, shell scripting I need to know. Okay, fine. Now coming back to here. Okay. So we were trying to understand about the coatings actually, right? So before the coatings, we had explained all these things, right? So in shell scripting, maximum you can declare any variable as an integer type only by using the declare command. So when you say declare I, you are mentioning this I explicitly as an integer type, or else nothing is there. There is nothing like a type actually. Okay, guys. So now here, what we will do now, we will understand what is this coating actually. So coating means here, for example, suppose assume that actually if you execute the command date, it will show you current time and date, right? Current time date. So today is Saturday 16th, timing so and so, blah blah blah, 2022. Like this, it is showing you the time actually, right? Current time and date. Suppose if you say echo today, the date is date. You say, Rajesh, I want to display this date as a command itself. So it should display today, the date is Saturday, April 16, blah, 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 2022. It should display like this. So when I execute this command, now you could see that echo is treating everything as a normal string and it is printing it. But I want this date to be expanded as a command actually. So in that case, you will be using the backquote like this actually. Now you could see that actually. So here echo command is not treating this as a string, it treats this as a command. So whenever you are executing this whole line, right, what the shell bash shell will do, it will check whether there is any quoting is being used in that command line by the user. Yes, it is being used over here. Okay, don't consider, shell will tell, hey, don't consider this as a string, man, consider this as a command. Okay, so it'll expand this command, so it'll execute this command. That's the reason we could say that today the date is Saturday, April 16, like this. So this code also will be using a lot inside our shell scripting. Is it clear, guys? Inside our shell scripting, it will be used. Now, if you, okay, that is one thing. Now, one more thing, like for example, if I say echo, I took $5 from you, means I took $5 currency from you. So when I execute this, I took $5 from you. Can you see that? I took from you. It is not printing $5 because here dollar has a special meaning in bash. So dollar means what? Dollar will have a value of the variable. But here there is no variable by name 5. So Rajesh, you say that, Rajesh, I want to mask this special meaning of the dollar. I don't want to, no, I want to just print that $5 here. Then you have to use that slash here. See? Now to print. So whenever you want to mask any special, if you want to mask the special meaning of that meaning, right, you have to always use the slash here. Okay, guys. Okay, fine. Now, so what else we have? Okay, brace expansion, very simple, sir. Brace expansion, tilde expansion. Now here, I'll clear the screen. Okay, so now suppose in Linux, you know that whenever I want to create any directory, sir, I want to always create a directory with the help of mkdir command. If I say mkdir, if I say Raju, so it will create a directory by name Raju. Can you see a directory by name Raju has been created, right? So there's one question being asked always that, sir, please create a directory with there should be an ABC directory. Inside a ABC directory there should be B directory. Inside a B directory there should be C directory. So directory within a directory I want to create it actually in one shot. So how you do it? How will you do it? You will say mkdir -p parent abc /p/c and say enter. So could you see that there is an ABC directory has been created? Get inside ABC directory. Can you see that there's a B directory? Get inside a B directory. Can you see a C directory? Get inside C directory. No, nothing is there. See, you have created a directory like this, a parent directory, a directory within a directory directly with the help of a -p option. So whenever you want to come out, see cd dot dot enter, cd dot dot enter, cd now cd dot dot enter and enter. See, you are able to create. Now you say, Rajesh, I want to display it recursively, man. You can use ls -capital R option recursively and say ABC and say enter. See, recursively it will show you. Oh, ABC has a B directory, fine. Oh, B directory has a C directory. Oh, C directory, oh, doesn't have anything. Right? Now, you have created a directory by name Raju. Fine. Now, what is a brace expansion? See, I want a combination of the directory. For example, if I say mkdir, okay, I'll open the flower bracket, A, comma, B, comma, C, close the bracket, again open the bracket, 1, comma, 2, and say enter. See, if you do ls, see how it has created a combination directory A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. See, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. See how this is happening because braces have been used, braces have been expanded. So this we call the brace expansion. This also we use in a lot of times in our scripting. Okay, like for one more example, like echo sp open the bracket ea comma eb comma ec ea comma eb comma ec close the bracket, again I'll say l. See how it expands. See, sp eal sp ebl sp ecl. See, can you see this combination like this? So this is not what you are using the braces here. Is it clear, guys? Are you clear till here?
Yeah, it's
okay. Great. So now, so this we call the brace expansion, right? Variable substitution we already saw. When I do a is equal to 10 or is equal to 100, you saw, right? I can display the value of the variable by using echo $a. So here you are using a variable substitution. The same variable you can even define in your inside the script. You can use a calling a $. You can actually print that variable, right? So I will show you some many scripts where I'll be, I will be expanding the variable in within or inside the shell script itself. Okay, so this is one thing. Now, what else? What else we have?
Rajesh,
yeah.
Rajesh, sorry, one quick question. In history, only commands got printed, or all this a equal to 0, these variables also got
all
added?
Every whatever you are executing the command line, everything will be
okay
there.
This is good.
Whatever you're doing, everything will be there.
Sure.
Okay, now tilde expansion. Sir, tilde stands for the tilde symbol. This tilde symbol, where is the tilde symbol, sir? Can anyone tell me if you are sitting in front of a system? It is below the escape button or above the tab button. Correct?
Yes.
So here, if I go to my /home directory, do you have any other user? Oh, Rajesh is there. Fine. So shall I add one more user? User add Mahesh, Suresh, last Santosh, I will say. I'll create a Santosh user account and I can say password ready. We will come across with all these things later, sir. You might say, Rajesh, you are saying that we'll come across, but when you'll come across? So we'll come across, don't worry. Okay. So I've created the Santosh user account and I've given the password as 123. Okay. Santosh user account under the /home has been created, right? Now what has happened now, sir? Whenever you are creating any account, actually, it will be attached with the tilde sign, sir. How it attached to a tilde sign means here, if I use a tilde and if I give tab twice, see, it will show all the users actually. Can you see here? Santosh, see with the tilde sign. Can you see Rajesh? Tilde sign. Can you see root? Tilde sign. Where is root, sir? ROOT. Where is it? It is tilde sign. Okay. Fine. I got it, Rajesh. Tilde sign. These are all home data, sir. These are all, sorry, not home data. These are all user accounts, sir. Tilde means actually it is nothing but it is a uh, home directory for that particular user. Now you say, Rajesh, I want to directly go to the Santosh home account. Santosh home account is where /home Santosh. So here it is the home account. See, pwd/home Santosh. Suppose you are somewhere else. I want to go to the Santosh home. You can say just say cd tilde Santosh. Enter. pwd. See, going into that. Same way, tilde Rajesh. See, we are going. Where are we going? To home directory. So this tilde also, in many of the occasions, we will be using along with the username. We will be using. So tilde will tell you that it will take you to the current home working directory of that particular user account. Will take. See here, if I say tilde, it is user. See, if I say cd, it is user tilde. See, it will take you to the user account of the EC2 user home directory. Like that. Okay. So this we call it tilde expansion. Tilde expansion. Okay. Okay, fine. So what else? Arithmetic substitution, sir. What is arithmetic substitution? Very important, sir. Arithmetic substitution. Like for example, same thing. I use a is equal to 10. I use b is equal to 20. These are two variables which I have defined. Right. Now I want to add these two variables, sir. So what are the different methods are there? There are 4 to 5 methods are there. Okay. So one is sum1 is one variable is equal to dollar of double bracket dollar a that's dollar b and close the double bracket. See? And if I say echo dollar of sum1, see, it will print the value 30. Sum2 is equal to dollar of open the square bracket dollar a plus dollar b. Then say echo dollar sum2. Sorry, echo dollar sum2. It is printed. Or else sum3 is equal to backcode expr expression dollar a plus dollar b and close this sum. Echo dollar sum3. It will print it. So these are the ways where you can do any kind of arithmetic operation. Double bracket, square bracket, and expr. Most of the time in shell scripting, either you will see this expr method or this method. Okay, so this we call the arithmetic substitution. You can do any operation arithmetic by using this method. There are 5 methods are there. One is one. There's one more method with the let method is there. I will tell you. And one more you saw there's a declare method. Using declare method also you can add 2 variables. Okay, declare method. So these 2 methods, there are totally 5 methods are there where you can do a arithmetic substitution. Okay, command separators. What is command separators? Suppose like I want to execute some. I want to execute more than 1 or 2 commands. You saw, right? If I execute ls command, date command, who command. See, all the 3 commands I can execute like this. Okay. Now, for example, okay, this is what it is. For example, you have a something like and or are there actually. These are nothing but it is like a truth table. For example, if you say this is command separator, semicolon is a command separator, sir. Semicolon is a command separator. Suppose if I say I'll clear the screen, and if I say ls and date command, see what shell is doing here. Shell is executing the first command. If first command is successfully executed by the shell will not execute the second command. Okay. Here, assume that first command itself is wrong, LT, and if we say and date, see, what shell is doing? Shell is executing the first command. If the first command itself is wrong, shell will not execute the second command. So here, I'm sorry, I think I have to come out from here. Oh, that EC user didn't have anything. That's what we didn't get the output. Yes, here we will be in the root user. See, ls command, a lot of things are there. So come again, let me come again. If I execute ls and then date command, so what shell is doing? Shell is executing the first command successfully. It has executed. Now shell will try to execute the second command. The second command, it is showing you the date output. So both the commands are getting executed. If first command itself is getting executed, now shell will try to execute the second command. Suppose that if I say ls and instead of date, you put data. See? What's that? Shell will execute the first command successfully. Now shell will try to execute the second command, but second command is wrong. Shell will give a throw an error command not found. Okay. Now what I will do? I'll say ls or date command. Okay. Shell will execute the first command. If the first command is executed successfully, shell will not execute the second command when you're using an OR operator. Suppose the first command itself is wrong. Now shell is executing. Now what will happen? Now if the first command itself is wrong, the shell will throw error command not found. Now shell will try to execute the second command. Right? So this and this OR and this semicolon, whatever we use, right? These are nothing but these are command separators. What was that? Semicolon and or are command separators. Clear, sir? Okay. So I think some of them we have already covered. Okay. Few of them are covered. One is pending the job control. We will see later what is this job control. Okay. So now, what are the few things which we have to learn now very quickly? So the first thing is that actually which we have to learn now is that what is the shell variables? Very important. We will try to understand about shell variables, and then we will also see. We'll start like how to write our first shell script and how to execute that shell script. So this we will quickly see now. These two things now. Okay. Now, okay, what is a shell variable? What are shell variables? See, variables are nothing but it is a label that label that has some value, right? So you know, right? If I define any variable a is equal to 10, so a is a variable and it holds a value 10. But this value will be keep changing, right? It's not like it will always be 10, right? It will 11, 12, 13, right? So variable are but it's like a label that assigns some value, or a variable something like it always the values are getting always changed. That we call as a variable actually. Okay. So variables are nothing but it's a label that holds or that assign some value. That assign some value. Right? That assign some value. Right? So in shell variable, there are two types of variables. What are the two types? One is a local variable and other is an environment variable. Two types of variable. One is a local variable and other is an environment variable. So what are local variables? Local variables are those variables which are defined in the local shell itself, right? You cannot make use of the same variable in some other shell. Like for example, here I have a variable a is equal to 10. Correct. I can even print the value of the variable a $a 10. See. So this variable what you define is local within your bash shell itself. It's a local variable. You cannot make use of this variable into some other places or in some other shells actually. It is locally defined here itself. Suppose here you are into the what with your shell you are working under. You are working under the bash shell, right? Now if you say Rajesh, if I go into the con shell, KSH con shell, the con shell is not there. So let us install the con shell KSH-y. So yum install KSH-y. You are installing the con shell package. See, it is installed. Now, so you have a variable local variable a is equal to 10. If I say echo $a, it will print that value, right? You know variable echo $a, it will print that value. Echo $a, it will print that value. Fine. Now, if I go from the bash shell, if I move to con shell, now the con shell will act as a non-login shell. If I try to print over here echo $a, does it print here? No, you cannot print it. Why? Because that variable what you have defined in a bash shell, and that variable bash is local within that shell itself. You cannot make use of the shell in some other shells or in some other non-login shells. You cannot make use of it actually. To come out from the con shell, you will say exit. Correct. Now again you are in the man bash shell. Again you do echo $a, it will be there, man. So Rajesh, I want to print. I want to check whether where exactly these variables are defined. There are two to three commands are there, sir, to display the variables actually. One is a env command. See, if I execute the env command, you can see all the variables of your shell actually. Even your local variable, what you have defined, even that also is there. See, env command output is from here. It starts. See, come down, come down. Come down. Is any variable a is equal to 10 is there? Where is a is equal to 10? A is equal to 10. Come down somewhere. Somewhere it is hidden, sir. Somewhere. You can either execute the env command, or else you can even execute the set command. Set command. Or else you can execute the print env command. Print env. Type it to yes. Print env. Come over here. Is anywhere a is equal to 10 is there? Oh, it's not there. How come, sir? Or else I have to export it, then only I'll get it. Huh? No, you will get it, sir. It should be there. Wait. Not sure in the Red Hat, they might have changed something. The new versions of Red Hat, no, it is not there, sir. Not sure, sir. You need to expressly export them. Okay, fine. So, so it'll display you, sir. So there are two commands to print all the variables. One is the env command you can use, and other is the set command, or else you can use a print env command. So these are the three important commands which are used in Linux to print all the variables what is there in that shell actually. So now I have made a variable a is equal to 10 is as a local variable. I'm able to print over here. Correct. Now, whenever you want to make any local variable as an environment variable, you should always export it actually. It means that suppose if I go into the C shell or I go to the bound shell, so can I execute, can I make use of variable in the bound shell in the other shells? See here it is not displaying. Can I make use of, yes sir, you can make it, but you have to explicitly export that variable actually. So we say export space A. Now if I go to the con shell, if I say echo $a, see it will print the value. Now from here again I go to the bound shell. Here if I say echo $a, see it will print it. So you have made that variable explicitly as an environment variable with the help of an export command. So what would you say that a local variable is a variable where it will be locally within that shell. You cannot make use of variable in some other shell. Whenever you want to make any variable as an environment variable, you have to always export that variable. Clear, sir? So now I'll exit from the bound shell. Now I'll exit from the con shell. Now I'm back to my main bash. So local variable. So that's what you cannot make use of the same variable in some other shell. If you still want to use the variable in some other shell, then you need to export that variable. So by using export import command. Okay. Now shell has lot of inbuilt shell variables. Shell has a lot of inbuilt shell variables. Those inbuilt shell variables are nothing but those are environment variables. So all the shells, sir, even corn shell, it had its own inbuilt variables. C shell has its own inbuilt variables. Similarly, bash also has its inbuilt shell variables, which we call it as environment variables. How to display all the environment variables in the shell? To display it, sir, you have to use echo dollar. Don't print anything, don't enter or don't print anything, just to tap, press the tab button twice. See, can you see all these variables? See, almost all the variables are in the uppercase, sir. Almost all the variables. Some variables you might find in a lower case, but that is fine. Okay, but most of the variables are under your uppercase itself. So with this uppercase, you can make sure that, oh, okay, these are the variables which are used within by your bash shell itself. Okay, fine. So now some of the variables you will see very interesting actually. So something like echo dollar bash or echo dollar bash underscore what is that bash underscore version. So if I execute bash underscore version, it will show the version of the bash. Oh, okay, it's 4.4. Okay, this is the version, bash version. EUID, effective user ID. See, since you are a root user, the effective user ID is always 0, sir. So can I print that echo dollar EUID? What is the value? So it is 0 always. See, now what is this ID? If you execute ID command, right? ID, it will show you what is the user ID of the root user. It is always 0. Group ID is 0. Okay. Suppose I will switch to the super user. I'll switch to the Santosh user. Sudo su-santosh. Okay. What is it? Sudo su-rajesh. See, Rajesh has logged in. Can I execute? What is the echo dollar effective user ID of Rajesh? Oh, it is 1001. Okay. Or else he execute ID command. Oh, it's 1001. Okay. Fine. That means that every user account has some user ID. If I do a sudo su -santosh, see, Santosh has logged in here. He executes the ID command. Oh, 1002. Oh, just after Rajesh 1001. Oh, 1002 is given. Okay, fine. So let me create one more user account. Sir. What's the name I'll give? What's the name I want to? I use a Girish. Where is Girish? Girish is there. So I use a Girish. Okay. PSSWD. Password D Girish. Password 123. Enter. 123. Enter. Switch to the Girish. Okay. Here execute ID command. See, that is 1003. Oh, it is giving serially, man. Oh, first 1001, 1002, 1003. Okay, some kind of ID is given for every user account. Okay, but why this ID is given? And always the ID, right? Effective user ID or ID is nothing but it will tell you that which is that specific user. It means that for Girish, always the ID is always 1003. For Rajesh, it is 1001. For Santosh, is 1002. Like this. So, with the help of an ID, the system can identify each and every user. See, the system doesn't identify what is Rajesh, what is Santosh, and what is Girish. How it will understand? It doesn't understand with the name. It understands with some number. Like for example, here. Like for example, the same thing here. We'll go with the same. I'll open the MS Paint. Okay. And the effective user ID for the root user is always 0, sir. Right? This is the user space. This is a user space. Sorry. You know that this is a user space. You know very well. User space. The kernel space. Correct. I'm using this again and again just to make you understand, sir. And this is where the kernel is up and running. This is a kernel. And here what happened, in the user space user will log in. Suppose assume that Santosh logs in here. Santosh logs in here. Santosha logs in here. Right? And as soon as Santosha logs in here, Santosha, he will get his own shell actually. He will get his shell actually. This is nothing but the bash shell. Correct? Correct, guys? This is nothing but the bash shell. Right? Now, when so what Santosh will do? Santosh will execute the ls command, date command. He will be executing many stuff, sir. He will be executing /out program. He will be running many things. But how exactly the system understand that Santosh is the user who is actually executing it? The system nothing but kernel, I'm saying, kernel, the operating system. It never understand with the name user in Santosh. What it will understand, sir? It never know who is Santosh. It doesn't know it actually. He can only understand, oh, what is an effective user ID, man? Oh, it is 1003. Oh, some user with the name effective user 1003, he is actually communicating. Okay, now the kernel will understand, okay, it knows how I should communicate with that specific user. It understands actually. Similarly, when any user logs in, the user name is root actually. He's a root user. He's a root user and he's a super user actually, right? He's a super user or he's a system admin. He logs in, okay, he will also get a shell, bash shell like this, correct? But the root user is nothing but it has an effective user ID of 0. Now when a root user logs in, root is also executing the command, ls command, date command, who command, so many commands is executing. Now how the kernel will distinguish between these users? It never distinguishes with the name. What kernel knows with the name root? It doesn't understand. It said who is root? I doesn't understand. Oh, if it is effective ID 0, oh, it means that he is something like a super user. He's a privileged level. So that's how the kernel will start communicating with the root user like this. If it is effective user ID 0. So it means that effective user ID 0 means, oh, he's a root user. Oh, effective user ID is 1033. Oh, he's a normal user. He will have less privilege, man. He cannot execute all the commands. Oh, root user. Oh, he can execute all the commands. Why? Because he is having the effective user ID 0. Clear, guys? Still here? Any doubts you have? Anything? No? Okay. Now, so that's how the effective user ID come to the picture. Each and every user will have something as a user ID, group ID. Can you see here? He is executing command. Girish is executing command ID. He has a 103 root user ID, group ID, and so many blah blah to which group he belongs and what are the different conditionals he has. These things and all. Again, I said like we will discuss it later. Something I'm just giving you a command actually, but the meaning internally, what everything happens, right? I will tell you later on. Okay, so this is also very, very important. In many places we will be using this effective user ID just to distinguish between what type of user it is. If he is a Girish user and if he is having 10003 as a effective as a user ID, oh, I will allow him to execute this task. Otherwise, I will not allow. Like that, you will write on condition in the script itself like that. So in that case, I'll be using this command like this. See, I'll be using this command like this. Oh, if it is a Girish actually, and if he's holding a 1003, this Girish, oh, then I'll allow to him execute a certain task like that. So now here, coming back here. So shell, see, you could make out, right? I'm tangentially going somewhere else, and I'm again coming back just to make you understand how things are going on in shell. Actually, that's what I'm explaining you everything, whatever is required at a time. Okay. Now you could see that there are bash has its own shell built-in variables, right? So here we just came over here, and what I did here, exit. So I executed echo dollar tab. See, effective user ID. So but it has an effective user ID of that particular user. For the root user, it is always 0. Again, where all these informations are placed under the etc, you have a password file. Open this password file. See, root. Here is the password. See, effective user ID, effective group ID. For root user, it is always 0. See, for Rajesh, see, effective user ID is 1001. Effective group ID is 1001. Santosh 1002. Girish 1003. Oh, beautiful man. So now that's how the bash shell can understand. Bash shell is actually reading this file. Oh, it can understand, okay, the effective user is 1003 for Girish. That's how the bash can understand with the help of this etc password file. like that. Okay. Now, okay. So coming back here, echo $, tap. Okay. So hist command you saw already at that time. What is the hist command? Hist command, echo $, hist command will tell you like how many number of execution you have did. Till now I have executed 148 times, 149, 150, right? 151, 152, right? 153. See, this is 154. It means that hist command will maintain a counter. How many number of times you're executing, right? That will keep maintain a counter. For some reason, yeah, it requires it. It is doing it. Hist file you saw already earlier. What is the hist file, sir? Dot bash underscore hist is hist file. What is the hist file size or hist size is number 1000. Echo $home will tell you the home directory of the root. Echo $home will tell you the home directory of your root user. See, it is always /root, right? IFS, interfield separator. Here in a bash shell, the interfield separator is either space or a tab, right? If I execute df-h command, see the interfield separator between these two columns is not but space or the tab actually. How the shell can differentiate between different columns, one column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column, sixth column. How differentiate? Because there is a space in between these columns actually. So why? Because in turn shell has one variable which is IFS, interfield separator, that has a information about the what is the interfield separator. For the C shell, sir, for the C shell, the interface separator is comma actually. Means it can distinguish between each and every column with the help of a comma. There the interface separator in the C shell is comma. Whereas in bash shell, it is either space or a tab. Clear? Now, like that, there are many are there, sir. Like for example, if you see, if you check the mail, so where the mail will come for the root user, it will be /var/mail. See, echo $mail. /var spool mail root. Similarly, if you go to the Santosha or if you go to the Girish, see, for the Girish, /var spool mail Girish like this. See, echo $mail. See, /var spool mail Girish. It will be that whenever Girish is actually using any emails, all his emails will come and sit into this in this location. Okay, that's how it is. Okay, let it out from the Girish user account. So as the echo $, tab, mail is there, man, model, yes, old PWD, OS type, okay, path, we have already been executed many times. Pipe status, I will discuss what is this pipe status. PPID, parent's PID, who is the parent PID of my bash shell? So as I discussed in the fourth session, the parent PID of the bash is a login process actually. Yeah, that's what. PS1 is nothing but your primary prompt. How you are getting this /root everything? This you are getting with the help of primary prompt. If I do PS1 variable, it will show me this is what the primary prompt means, right? Secondary prompt, PS2 means secondary prompt. If I execute like this, echo $PS2, it will show you greater sign. See, greater sign. Have you seen this anywhere somewhere? For example, I will be execute ls command and say enter. Right. So mistakenly, if I say ls and if I put some code like this, see, it will take me to the secondary prompt of your shell. It doesn't mean that if you're executing something wrong, you're out of the shell. No, it will just switch to the secondary prompt. You can come back to your primary prompt by pressing Control C. Control C will kill that prompt and you will come out from that. PS4 prompt. PS4 is not what this will tell that your shell script is under debugging. So if I execute echo $PS4, I think it will print the plus mark sign. I don't know. Yeah, it will print the plus mark sign. There is even the PS3 variable also, sir. PS3 variables are used in the select statement actually. They are used in the select statement. Here it is not there. It is not like a deprecated. It is not there. Suppose I go to the conch shell. I'm not sure. If I print there echo $PS3, will it print or not? I'll see. It will print. See, $? is not, but it is a PS3 prompt. So $? is not PS3 prompt. This where we are using, sir, we are using in a select statement, sir. When I come to shell scripting, there's a select statement. You can even Google it out. What is PS3? See, what is PS3 shell variable? Take control of PS3, PS4. PS3 shell variable. PS1 is a primary prompt. PS2 is nothing but, right, like that. Here somewhere they have defined what is PS3. See, PS3 is nothing but wherever using select statement when you are reading shell scripting, there the PS3 shell variable is used actually. So the PS3 variable is not dollar or the hash question mark actually. This hash question mark is the this I don't know, for some reason they have not deprecated, they have removed from the bash shell actually, but it is there in the console, right? PS4 variable, as I said, like it shows you plus mark, and whenever your shell scripting is under debugging, then the PS4 shell variable is used internally, right? Like that with PWD, like that you have many of the shell levels actually. On you are under which shell level, effective user ID or user IDs both are same. Even this also prints the same value, echo dollar UID, effective user ID. It will also print the 0 only, right? Like that way, there are so many shell variables are there. So these are very important for us to understand. We should know certain information about each and every shell variables. Okay, sir. So that's what about. So whenever you want to make any variable from the local variable to the environment variable, right, you have to always export that variable. So use an export command like this, right? Okay. So whenever you are making a variable export by using export command, this variable will become a environment variable. It will become environment variable so that this variable can be used in any other subshell also. Okay. So we had discussed enough today. So let us move ahead and try to know how to write a very simple shell scripting. So we will write a first shell script, sir, now. So we have not yet started anything with the command, sir. We will be doing after some point of time. But let us see how to write our simple shell scripting. Okay. So whenever you write any shell script, like suppose I'm writing my own first shell script, I'll say first script actually dot sh. So I will always use a VA command to create a file. I can even use a nano command also or a touch command to create a file, but I'll use a VA command. VA is one of the editor actually which you use in Linux. So I'll create a script by name first.sh. See, whenever you're writing any shell script, always you have to give .sh as an extension. .sh states that actually it is a shell script. So wherever you are seeing the .pl, oh, it says that it's a Perl script actually. Wherever you say .py, oh, it's a Python script, sir. Wherever you see .rb, oh, it's a Ruby script. Wherever you see .cpp, oh, it's a C++ file actually. Wherever you say .a, oh, it's a C file. So every file has an extension actually. It signifies that what type of file it is or what is the language being used in that file, right? So whenever you write any script, always you should give .sh as an extension. And once you create this file, always the first line of the script should always be #bang /bin/bash. We call this as a #bang, or we call it a shebang, or something we call it as a magic array. So why we are using the shebang? Whatever you're writing below the script, right? For example, you say echo dollar echo, or I'll say a is equal to 100. You'll say echo. Okay, I'll say okay. I will not do like this. I'll say echo. Enter the value. I'll use one variable which is read var, and I'll say echo $var. Like this, some three lines I'm writing here actually. So this is the 3 lines within my script actually. Now always at the top of the script actually you should use this actually. In some script you use like this. Like this also you use. No problem, both are same. Here you are using env. Why you are using env? Again, I will tell it later on. But here you are expressly saying that, oh, please execute this below line with the help of a bash shell. Suppose you are writing any conn shell, so you write like in the conn. Suppose you are writing a Perl, you want to execute this line below lines in the Perl, you have to say Perl like this. So either way, either use this way or else you can use even /bin/bash. So this #bang together because a shebang or because a magic character, it will tell your operating system or the kernel to execute this lines under the bash shell. Suppose if you are writing your script, whatever you're writing under the Perl, you use /bang /usr /bin/Perl. So whatever the lines you write here at the down, right? You are telling explicitly to execute these lines, this code under the Perl interpreter. Okay. So see, one more thing. We even say shell as an interpreter. Okay. Earlier, sir, in many of the interviews, what happened, right? They used to ask, hey, what is a shell? So shell is nothing but it's an interface between user and the kernel. Shell is an interpreter. Okay. Now they'll ask, so then what is the difference between interpreter and a compiler, sir? This is a general question where in interview, every interview they're asking. Some of you are able to answer it nicely. Some of them, okay, they used to give some intermediary answer they used to give, right? So many times this question was being asked actually. So we say that what exactly an interpreter or what exactly compiler or what's the difference between? In the morning, you saw, right? I wrote a hello.c program and I compiled the program using gcc hello.c, right? I got a file by the a.out, right? And I executed the program by using /hello., right? You remember, right? In the morning session or the previous sessions, we had written this program. So here what happened, right? We have written a program hello.c by using a GCC compiler. You compile this program and you got an output of the a.out. This we call the assembler output. Or this file is nothing but it is an executable file or it is an executable program. Create, correct? So you executed this command with the help of a /a.out. Very good. So this is not, but this is the compiled binary program. A.out is a compiled binary program. It is a x86 compiled binary program. Okay, fine. Fine, sir. It means that whenever I'm writing any code, any C language, suppose if I take any code, suppose I can write any C program, or I can write C++ program, or I can write a Node.js program, or I can write a not Python program or any other program, right? So what you have to do, no, you need to compile that program, sir. Suppose this is a C program. This is a C program. You need to compile the program. If it is a Java program, you need to compile the program. Similarly, what happened, right? If you are using something Node.js program, you need to compile, but Node.js is not a compiled program, so it internally compiles it. But it is basically most of this, whatever the language we have now, sir, C, C++, everything, C language or C++ language, right? These are all are what I call high-level language program. If I'm not wrong, high-level language program. So whenever a person writes a program, you need to convert this program into a machine understandable language or into a binary language or into assembly level language, where the machine can understand. It means that when a processor, when a CPU is executing this instruction, right, those instructions should be in a binaries. Then only the CPU can execute that program. Without the binaries, the CPU doesn't understand. And what binary should be there? Because our machine is an x86 machine, the binary should be in x86 architecture. It means it should have been compiled in a x86 architecture of the processor. Then only that program will get executed by your CPU. So this we call the high level, or some people call it the mid-level language program. This level. So whenever you're writing any C program or C++ or Java, these are all mid-level or high-level language program. This has to get converted into the machine understandable language or program or into an assembly level language program. So that who does that? That the compiler does it, sir. Compiler does it. So in our case, it is GCC compiler, GNC compiler. Same way in Windows, we have Borland C compiler is there. There are many other compilers are there which are used for compiling the program when it comes to the Microsoft actually. So now what is happening that now you are having a very big program. You are having a very big program. So what the compiler will do now, sir? Compiler, it does many other operations at the back end. And finally, what happened? It compiles a whole set of code. It will change or it will convert into a binary language program or machine understandable language program. It will convert it actually, right? But whereas a script, whereas a shell script, suppose I'm writing the same thing as a shell script actually. Shell script, what to do? You'll by line, you will write actually. So what you will do, this is the shell script. Assume that this is my first, this is my shell script. So it is having a .sh extension. So what I'm doing here, I'm doing echo, enter the value. Create variable, same thing I'm typing, echo $var, echo $var. So I'm writing some instruction here in my shell script, sir. Now what shell will do, shell will never compile a program. Is say that no, shell will never compile any program. Only the compiler will compile a program. Shell, what it will do, it will execute the already binary compiled program. So shell will never compile, sir. It will never compile the program, or it never compile the script. What the shell will do, shell means here, sir, I will tell you, shell, it could be Python also interpreter, or it is a Perl interpreter, or Ruby interpreter, shell. These are all interpreters, sir. What the interpreter do, interpreter will never compile the program. Interpreter or the shell will execute the already compiled binary programs. It will execute already binary programs. Here in this case, which are binary compiled programs, or which are binary compiled programs? Echo is a binary compiled program. Read is a binary compiled program. Again, echo is a binary compiled program. So it will execute the already binary compiled programs. That means that it will execute already the binary compiled program. So coming back to here, if you are understanding it very clearly, what is the difference between the interpreter and a compiler? What it says that compiler is what the compiler does. Compiler is going to compile a program which you have written in a high-level language or mid-level language. Compiler will compile that program into machine understandable language, or it will try to compile into the binary level, or it will compile to the x86 instruction or assembly level language. Whereas shell is nothing but it is an interpreter. It will execute the already binary compiled program. Now what happens? Shell, what will do now? Shell will try to execute this line. Shell will try to execute the first line. Okay. Shell will execute the first line. So, okay, fine, it is execute perfectly fine. Shell will execute the second line. Okay, fine. Shell will try to execute the third line. Oh, if there is third line, if there is any error, shell will stop there itself. It won't proceed further. It will just exit out from the program. But whereas C program, it will compile the whole code. It will take the whole chunk of the code, piece of the code, which we call the segment. It will take the whole program code and it will compile into the machine understanding level language program. If there is any error in your program, your compiler will catch that error and throw to the user that, hey, in this line number there's error. If there's a line, there's error. Whereas in the shell script, it will never say that, oh, this line is the error, this line is error. It doesn't do that. It will start executing from the top, like this. From the top of the line, it will start executing. Wherever it finds the error, no, the shell will just exit from that. So now you have to say that, so the difference between interpreter and the compiler, that compiler will compile the whole program which is written in the high level language. It will compile into the machine understand level language, or into assembly level language, or else into binaries. Whereas the shell is going to execute the already binary compiled programs. Like that you have to say. Are you clear, sir? So did you understood?
Yes, Rajesh.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
Good. So now, so let us now write a shell script now. Simple shell script, and let us see how it executes. I think this is gone. All right, vi first underscore script dot sh hash bang slash bin slash bash. There should not be any space. Or some people by mistake they'll give space like this. No, there shouldn't be any space. It should be without space, like that. Right, and then echo enter the value. Read where. See, read is something like a scanf statement, sir. In C program or in many other programs, right? You have a scanf. Scanf will basically ask input from the user. So read command will ask an input from the user. You give the input. So whatever the user gives the input, that will be stored in this variable var, and then echo $var. Okay, save the program or save the script. Sorry. Now there are three methods to execute this program, or to execute the shell scripts. So what are those three methods actually? Three methods to execute the script. first method is sh space specify the script name. Second method is dot space dot slash specify the script name. But when you're executing with the second method for the first time, it will throw an error actually. Throw an error. It says that your script doesn't have execute permission. Then what you do? You have to explicitly give the execute permission for the script, and then you execute with this method, it will work. For the first time when you're executing, it will throw an error. Then what will do? You'll go and change the permission, execute permission, then it will execute. And the third method to execute the script is, you can say source space specify the script name, or you can say dot space specify the script name. Many people, they don't use this third method at all. I have never seen people using this third method. But yes, why it is there, we will discuss later on all these things. But this is the third method. Either first method or second method only, most of the time people will use for executing any shell script actually. So let us see now how to execute the shell script. I'll say dot slash first dot sh. First underscore script dot sh. So it says the permission denied. You have to say the chmod 775 or plus X you can give. Specify the script name. Now we execute the first method. So you enter the value, I'll give something, it will print the same value. Second method dot slash first dot sh. Now it will work it will work. Last method is source dot sh or dot space first dot sh. Any one method you can use, but mostly people are using this or this. Is it clear, sir? Are you okay till here?
Yes, sir.
Great, sir. Sir, any doubts you guys have till here? Okay, sir. I want to ask. We have not yet started anything, sir. We have not yet even started with the command also. I'm just trying to tell you certain basic things actually. Later, what happens once we start getting the commands, scripting, and many of the concepts, it will be very interesting actually. Till now, we have not yet even started actually to learn Linux actually. So still, we are just in a very creamy layer where we are trying to understand certain bits and pieces. I'm trying to make you understand here and there. Okay. So okay, fine. So I think. Do you want to continue for a few more minutes or we'll stop? Is it 11:30, right? We'll stop the session?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So what we can do, okay, Naresh, can you please stop the session?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Rajesh, small request. You are executed a lot of commands in command line. Those commands are not in the part of Notepad, right? If you don't mind, could
yes,
you please
sir.
add?
Sir, what I would suggest that actually, Naresh, have you stopped it?
No, sir. It's not for anybody. Please.
Yeah.